dyslexia. That is not the case. It is anyone that needs help with learning, which is great for our students because they all could use some help. So Barbara and I kind of started thinking and brainstorming, well, how can we best show you kind of what we learned in 8 weeks of training to apply to the kids. And we did this one, a drill kind of thing for our kids. You do it at the beginning of every Orton Gillingham lesson, which is usually 50 minutes to an hour. We don't have 50 minutes to an hour, we have 20 minutes to 30 minutes, but we figured what we could do is this drill that you could do every day, starting off with a kid. Of course, if time permits, the teacher permits, but it'll help. And I've seen improvements, even with the girl that I'm working with at the center right now, just by doing this alone. We have 12 sets of cards. We have a little bit more of you guys in here than anticipated, so I can print out and I will make more for you if you do not receive a deck of cards. For now, we will pass out one to everyone. Just take one, pass it along. Yep. And for the beginning, Barbara and I were actually going to simulate a drill for you all. Barbara's going to be the teacher, so pay attention to her. I'm going to be the student, which is funny because I'm telling everyone that I don't think I'm going to mess up on purpose, and I'm going to mess up on accident because I don't think I have this mastered yet. And what we want you to do is to pay attention, take down and write down the things you notice that we do, or questions that you have, because then we're done. We'll explain the drill to you and answer questions. So are you ready, teacher Bart? Right, can you all see? Maybe we need to, we'll try to talk loud if you need to stand around us.
So they can see what the cards are looking like. It's really cards that have all the sounds that we say. So.
Kana.
Let's try as in me. And trace it. You have to say it when you trace it.
Mm.
There you go.
Mm. 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 Or. O. E. And. O. Or O. E.
Or. Short sound.
F. M. O. T. A. K.
Ch. Chain.
Ch. 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 Z. W. A. All. E. E. G.
Or. Laugh.
A.
Or.
O. A. E. I. O. U. E.
Type. As in the word type.
I.
You want to trace that for me?
I.
Okay. How about we do I, magic E. I, magic E.
I. Magic E. I. Magic E. I. Magic E. R. A. Onk.
Yeah. Okay.
Onk. Ink. Did I not get them all?
I don't know. I didn't hear. Let's do it.
Ink,
again.
ank, onk, onk.
There you go. Thank you.
Ing, ang, ong, ong. Ch. Ow, or O. Ch. I, or I. Li. J. Ow.
Or.
Give me a
Sorry.
word.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No. That's wrong letter. Or.
G. Sh. S.
Long.
Mild, so ild, eind, old, oost. Ol, olt.
Clip it. Up. Can you trace that? And this one.
I.
You got it.
A lot of pressure.
Why are we making a house? Is there a reason?
Say it again.
Is there a reason for the 3 different vowels?
There is a reason for the vowels, because after you go through all the sounds, and these sounds would, they would not start with this. You'd start with just a smaller number of sound or letters at the beginning, the easier lower level ones, and then you flip them over, and now she's going to blend them. So she's going to tell me this sound,
Qu, x, quax.
and then blend it into a nonsense word, which is practicing that whole nonsense thing.
What, when. Fur. Cam. Lay. All, chaw. Eat, zeet. We.
Laugh. Can you trace
What?
that?
What is? Och, fudge. Odge, fudge. Arch, harsh. Aid, bait. Oak, joke.
Try this one again with the short sound.
Ah.
Now trace it.
Ah. Jock, jock. Car.
What was that? Yeah, the whole thing.
Car.
Do we want to stop
We
there?
can stop
Okay.
right there. All right, so that's the basic drill that we do in the beginning of every lesson. So I don't know if you guys notice things, but we'll explain it to you. But anything that stood out to any of you guys, something that you noticed.
I was
Yes.
wondering about the GH. You made it an F, like laugh, but what about like though?
It could also be g, as in ghost.
What about at the end of a word like though, although?
That is a sight
Sign.
word.
That's like, so,
Or else you can use OUGH. That could that's also a card, but that's at a higher level, like 5th level.
For a kindergartner, let's say starting, what cards?
You'd have your P, V, D, T,
And you just
or-
your initial sounds
and short vowels.
and short vowels.
Yeah.
Anything you noticed that we did or that Bart did,
we traced it 3 times.
that's key.
That is key.
If you
Trace
know,
it 3 times if you miss it.
if you miss it, or correct if they don't know it initially.
Correct.
Because what you'll see is the reason why it's multi-sensory is because it triggers things. If you have a kid, you give them the letter O, and they don't know it, and so trace it. And I've been shocked because then it comes to the kid. They remember it by tracing. But anytime someone messes up, make sure I'm always saying the correct thing. Anytime someone messes up, you have them trace 3 times. But what did Barb do? So if I messed up, and she had me trace it 3 times, what did she do then?
Well, I put it in the bottom.
Oh.
Put it back in the bottle.
Put it back.
Here it C says, she put it back in so that we readdressed it. Anything else anyone noticed?
Did you say that out loud as you were tracing?
Yes. So
You're supposed to.
you're supposed to.
I was just
She
I
reminded
might
me
have
too.
missed that.
So yeah, you have to have them because that's the whole multi-sensory deal.
My thought is that a a lot of those came later in the year.
True, so you just shorten up your PAL. And you just use the sounds that you know that they know. And then you could introduce one sound each week that's a new sound to help.
So you do
to
the
help it
short
grow.
vowels and the P, T, that kind
It
of
would
stuff.
be all those beginning sounds. She has she's going to give you the markers on the back of the cards that are indicated what level they are and whether they come at the beginning or middle or end.
So we'll give it to
Yeah.
you. Anything else you've noticed from the lesson?
She addressed both long and short in some of those. I don't know if
I was inconsistent on that because we were doing the example. If in a real lesson, we would do both.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If they know.
provided you've already introduced that sound to them.
okay.
Yeah, you don't do anything in this drill that they don't already know. So you don't introduce something new, right?
Yep, it's all
So
reinforcement.
Yeah, reinforcement. So if a child does not know long E, you wouldn't introduce it to them here. It's just reinforcement of what they already know.
And to know what they know, you can just flip through the cards and make a pile with sounds they know and a pile of sounds they don't know. Then just use the pile that they do know and do that same thing with them, and then add that the pile that they don't know, like one a week or whatever, however it can grow with that. It sounds intimidating, but it isn't, because you have a set number of letters. And if you just go through the whole thing and you just say, you know, what does this say? And they'd say, qua, wa, t. And then you know that was, they don't know that. And you could tell just by having them go through that and tell them the sound. Or even if you're trying to learn the name of the letter, you can go through and have them name the letters first. See if they know the names. Do the ones they know names for, and see if they can associate a sound with the name. So like if you'd see the wa, you'd have to ask them if it's a W. You would say, what letter is this? And if they can tell you that it's a W, then you say, what sound does it make? And if they don't know the sound, then you put it in the don't know sound. And you know that they know the letter, but they don't know the sound. So you would, that would be one you would introduce before you would introduce like the GH, because they would know this letter, but they don't know the sound. And you would do all the ones that they do know the sounds of. And
You make a pile for the ones that they know the sounds of.
yeah. So actually, I think it would be best to go through first and find out if they know the names of the letters, especially particularly with kindergarten. Go through and get the names of the letters first. Then you have a pile, you have this pile here and this pile here. So you leave those cards that they don't know the names of over here. So then you go through and you say, so what letter is this? And they'll tell you it's W. And you ask them what it says. And they say T. So you put that on this pile, and you'd say, what letter is this? And they'll tell you F, and what does it sound like? And they say, and then you'd have this pile that they know. So then this would be the pile they know. This would be the pile that you would introduce first, and then you would work on this in the order of the way they would come.
So can I just ask if at either one of the schools, do they have a systematic approach to learning the letters in kindergarten? That
Like in
would be-
order?
Yes, the order.
I'm trying to remember from last year.
I
Did
would
you
think
catch
they
on,
do.
John, to
I don't know if there's an order.
I think they just took them through the alphabet.
Unless there's a curriculum for kindergarten that has probably an order of letters in there. I would imagine they have a curriculum that has an order.
I would think there's
of
an
I
letters.
think they would work on a different letter each day, and then they would, every time I stopped in, they would go through like the whole alphabet. They did that, but they would sometimes, like Miss Mazer, teaching one letter specifically. I don't know if it was specific.
And you can ask your teacher too, because they'll have. I'm 99% sure they'd have a list of the order.
That might be nice for us to know that are doing upper grades too. Because, well, actually, I don't know. As you were going through that, you were talking about kindergarten, what to go through, but I'm finding that at any level, start at the beginning, see if they know their short sounds. They might not.
Exactly.
See if they know the long, the names
Yes.
of those sounds of the vowels.
Yes.
Because that tells you a lot right there.
So
The
that's
vowels,
why it would
yeah.
be good to have this and have them initially go through it and
Yeah.
see, make a pile of what they do know and what they don't know
That's
in the
very good
beginning.
for assessment, for
Yeah.
sure.
The whole
And then also
pile.
reinforcement.
Yes.
Whole pile,
yeah.
if you want to. If you don't know where
Just
they're
the first time. But I wouldn't do, like with kindergarten, I wouldn't do closed syllable exceptions, and I wouldn't do
Yeah, I was gonna say, you
diagrams.
threw some,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the GH and all that.
I wouldn't,
that's
Those are,
fair.
but they're marked on the back
That's-
level
That's
as well.
actually appropriate for the end.
we will tell you that. We'll go through that.
For kindergarten, I know in Daniela's presentation, she said that the teachers do like a, apple, and there's a whole, and it's consistent throughout, I guess, all of the kindergartens. Is it possible for those that teach kindergarten or tutor with kindergarten students to get either a set of those or whatever picture they use to identify? Because I know, like, some people maybe, if it's B, some people might use a bat, some people might use a barn or something. But if it was consistent,
Yeah.
if it was consistent to use the same pictures.
We're giving you all one of these today, and it's what goes along. Is this
Oh,
from
okay.
Wilson?
That's
That
what-
would, that's
right.
from Wilson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that'd
so,
be real helpful.
Yeah.
and we actually also purchased from Wilson big letter cards too that have the pictures on the back.
Oh, good.
That will
It
be
does
in our room.
help the students feel associated with something. I
Yes.
found that my kids that I've worked with really have used it.
Yeah, and they actually use the Wilson program in a lot of the classrooms, which these pictures are from. In the Pittsburgh Public Schools, Wilson is very, very huge. And these are the pictures, those pictures come from that program.
So you're going to give us cards with the picture and the letter being like
No, you have to cut out the picture and glue it on
But
yourself.
we purchased from Wilson. We'll have 4 sets in the room of the big letter cards.
Oh.
So yeah, that's what we received from the grant.
I seem to recall in first grade they would go through those too. They would drill them at the beginning of the reading period.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah. So it wasn't just kindergarten.
So a basic lesson, just so we can remind you, then we'll go through the cards. Chime in.
Yeah.
You want to take it?
Well, you start off with your cards, and you go through the cards and have them say what the word sounds are. If they make a mistake, you have them trace it with their finger and say it with their mouth. So it's going through the whole system. And then when you put them
back if they get it wrong.
put it back if they get it wrong, right? So that they always end up correct. And then there will be beginning B, M, and E and Rachel will tell you what to put on the back of each letter card. And you put the beginning pile, the middle pile, and the end pile. So then they're already lined up as you've gone through. So, okay, and then, what was that? Yeah. And then you flip those over and they're gonna automatically, it works. They're gonna face the student and then they're gonna tell you one sound at a time. And then that's gonna be practicing that blending business. And you can do it beginning sound, middle sound, if they're struggling. Start with beginning sound, then do beginning middle, then do beginning middle end. But it's that idea of having it flow as the sounds meld together to become a word. And you can start off b, a, t, and you can go b, a, ba, and then add b, at, and then speed that up. And it's that practice of flowing them together, because that's what they need to know. They need their auditory skills need to realize that they're going to blend together and become a word. And a lot of them don't know that or haven't got the process for that.
It's also helpful if you tell them.
Truth.
Don't just let them figure it out. Say, this is what we're doing. It says it's, blended.
Right, yeah, well, and then when you do this,
Yeah.
it just becomes, we just sit down and do this.
Right.
It's the first 5 minutes of every lesson. And they just do it.
Is this something, I'm not familiar with the program, but is this something where like they do the little tap and then sweep?
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
if you
thing.
notice, like
Yeah, yeah.
you're supposed to have the kids.
Like,
The
are
kids
they
will want to
supposed
sit
to
back and say it, but since it's multi-sensory, having them go tap, 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 and then go across. Because then they're using more than just
So like
saying.
I don't know,
cards.
it's just like but
And then when it-
bat, like that.
Yeah. It does help. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, the
with
touching,
tapping.
yeah.
Any more questions for that before I take you through your deck of cards? Alright, I really hope mine match up with yours. I really tried my best yesterday. In case you want to write on the back the correct way to say. Actually, we're going to do this. I'm going to hold up the card and you are all going to tell me the correct way to say Is this right here?
Ah.
How do we
So what
read
goes in the
that?
back?
And so,
How do you write
middle,
that?
1. Well, the way to write a short vowel is write the letter in that little,
Breath.
there we go.
Well, these
So,
what?
Show us.
middle one.
Middle 1.
Which is, that's why I said.
That's how to write a short. So you know.
Ah.
And that's what to use those that.
Oh, that's true, yes, you mean, what's your?
I thought you'd do that.
These little squares, something different.
All right, we ready to move on?
Okay.
Okay, what letter do we have here?
B.
B. It is level 1, and it can be beginning or end, right? Why do I have beginning or end?
Because it can be beginning or
Here. Wait a minute, what did I do?
back.
So it would be your E tab.
So you put B or E. So you know. So when you're making your piles, you can choose which one.
What's B?
What's E?
Beginning or end, level 1. How about this letter? What other sounds do you make? But probably for most of our kids, it's going to be, and that is level 1, beginning.
That's okay, so we'll have a cat on the back. So we'll know that it's,
Yeah.
all right. Gotcha.
And then these pictures then will get, the picture of the cat will get glued on the back of the cat.
Yeah, if you want to put the pictures on the back card, we'll pass them out. If you want in your own time.
Cut those on.
Yeah, you can have a picture. What sound does this one make? This is also level 1, beginning or end. Sound does this make? Middle, level 1. Sound? Level 1, beginning.
Yeah.
Beginning and end.
Yep. Yeah, it's a little different.
It's just a different type.
Different
Yeah,
font.
different font.
Does it matter?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
And this is beginning or end, level 1.
They'll just.
Nancy, I will just
Wait.
make you a one. I'll make you one in my own time.
So they're gonna see it.
And a way to teach this, I learned at the center, is to have them put their hand and go. Because what is the common other way that they'll sometimes say? H. If they don't go, maybe they just don't use enough breaths. Because my girl really struggled with it. I can't remember what she normally would say, but I had her like this. And that is beginning, level 1. If, middle, level 1. Beginning, level 1. Once again, beginning, level 1. All these first letters. It's like peanut butter, right, stuck at the top of your mouth.
It would be
Just make sure you have your tongue up on top.
Okay.
Beginning, level 1.
Oh, so that's only the, L is the same?
Is
Beginning and level 1.
Beginning.
What was L?
L is beginning, level 1.
Why is it not an end? I'm just asking.
I know, that's where I'm.
Is it the
because it
physical
would be
rule?
doubled at the end, like ball, or it would have another sound with it at the end.
We
So
teach the
heel
kids.
would be E-A-L would be together for heel. Is that how they would do that?
Good for you.
Yeah, because we teach them the fizzle rule that it's always F, S, D, L is doubled, but heel.
It's the long. I'm not sure why that is. It does.
We'll have to ask Janet that
Just
question.
to clarify, you said beginning for a lot of these, not beginning and end. Is that correct?
Right.
Yes.
Level 1, beginning or end. Aw. level 1. Beginning level 1. What sound does this one make? Ah, this was my favorite because the same happened to me when we were training. We all said The correct is yeah. Not rough, so you want to clip it so you're not going R-U.
No. Is ER.
Is ER. Make sure you clip it nice and short. But it's funny because they all are taught in school, like a pirate. Which is not correct.
So this is level 1.
Oh, sorry, I got distracted. Beginning level 1. Beginning level 1 for S. Beginning end level 1.
Beginning and end?
Yep, beginning or end level 1. Middle level 1. Beginning level 1. Beginning level 1. End level 1.
What's the next?
Really, it was end.
Saying it right? I keep looking to you to make sure I'm doing it right. It's like the box. Box. Yeah, so it'll be nice to do these pictures. That'll help.
Okay. So it was one end, that's
One
end.
end, yeah. Level 1, and it'll only be at the end.
That's what first is.
Beginning, level 1.
What's the sound?
Can you pronounce that one? Is it y or like y or like
Yeah.
Yard.
Refer to it
Beginning
as clip it.
level
You want to make it as short as it is,
So not
because
like
otherwise you add, you'd be adding a short U on there. Yeah.
I just want to tell them to clip their sounds. You can tell it it's too. Clip it, make it nice and short. Like things like they'll want to say duh, buh, but it's not duh. Just duh. Which I have to catch myself. That's hard. Beginning level 1. Alright, now into the tricky stuff. Here we go. Am I just going to give them the first sound on the card?
Yeah.
And the first word?
Mhm.
I'll give you guys word examples for this too. So, sound. A, and a word that you can use is, we'll do rain.
Do you want to write these down?
If you need to remember how to say it, it'll be helpful to write a word. So, rain, and this.
Those words are keywords. It's like she was talking about this morning.
So you have keywords
A,
for this.
apple, A, apple, A. It's the keyword, so it's the same one.
And
Oh, there are
this
for
is
this?
middle, level 2.
She's going to tell you the keywords.
What about right here? All, keyword tall. And it's middle,
No.
level 2. R and a car. That'll be helpful. Car. Middle, level 2.
What's fail? I keep asking for
All, tall, middle, level 2. And R, car, middle, level 2. And A, so day, level 2, middle.
Middle,
Why do I have middle for this?
Which is that when you would block
Oh,
off that
because
last
you would
one?
block
Yeah.
off.
yeah, you can block off what?
So
Why?
say, we had 3 piles, if you had something at the end that wouldn't make sense, you would put your hand there. So they would have.
You don't want them to practice something that would never have, like you would never have a V at the end of a word. There would always be an E after a word. So if you if your cards were laid up, you would always block off that V so that they were practicing something that would be incorrect. Like you would never have a K at the end of the word, you would have CK. So if you had your K in the N POW, you would block that off because you wouldn't want them to see the wrong
So does
thing.
this-
There is a lot of rules.
So this probably has more to do with what we've got in the end pile.
So we put this in
The middle.
2M.
Block off.
So chin, beginning level 1. Level 1.
How about beginning and end?
Or
Oh, I just have beginning. You have
It
beginner
does
and
come at beginning and end, but you practice it at beginning.
Oh,
I don't know if I have it marked.
What's the word?
Like the word church has,
Chin.
yeah.
church or grandchurch.
chin.
It's
chin.
not that they don't ever come, like the
Like
V
lunch.
never comes at the end without an E. But, like the L can come at the end of, you know, heel or, tail or, but it's typically at the beginning. It's more often than not the way these are marked. But there
In the
are always
prior order.
exceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the English.
And so one thing, like how Barb was saying, you'll never have a K or a C at the end of that one syllable word. It always is a CK. So teaching kids that when you're going through it. If they have the word back, they should know at the end that it's CK. And back is the word. And ending, level 1. E. Eat, middle, level 2.
So you wouldn't say that. Sometimes.
Well,
It's just
yeah, I'm giving you the most common,
most common.
one, but it can also be S, like bread.
But when Barbie did the demonstration, did she ask you for sometimes more than one sound?
There are a lot of them that have like, there are like 5 different sounds for O.
But for this, she wouldn't say, if
E,
she
A,
said E,
and A.
another, and you'd ask her for another sound or not?
No, not for that one. Until you taught them that it has that second or third sound. Yeah.
I don't have, my sister has a really good rule for the E's. Like, obviously you learn first that the first vowel says its name, but then later on, not in kindergarten, not in first grade, but like end of first grade, second grade, in order to get the more complicated words, they need to, a good rule is try the first vowel, its long name, that doesn't make sense. Try the second vowel, its long name, that doesn't make sense. The first vowel short, that doesn't make sense. Second vowel short. That way you get the word.
Oh, so you go through them.
Yes.
I get you.
That way it gives them a systematic approach, and they're going to get the word.
Going through each one.
But if you're teaching them, this is the E.
Right, you
is-
want to teach
E
them
is
the correct.
first, yes.
All right. Yes. I don't know why I'm the letters backwards. So parted. Parted. Parted.
Parted.
Am I saying it funny? P-A-R-T-E-D. Maybe it's my accent. I can't say it correct. Parted. And level 2, and we don't say beginning of that, but because of the dash, you know, it's at the suffix. Suffix. There you go. So level 2.
2E.
Well, it's just it's a suffix, you know, it's a so I don't know what piles. Barb,
Yes.
big better question for you. Would this always go in the last pile though? Would it go in the middle, or where do you typically put it?
Well, I actually do that completely separate, and I put that on a suffix color. When you have prefixes and suffixes that always come at the end, I have an orange pile for the prefix and a green pile for the suffix in the
So
bright
she
colors.
made newer cards with
So-
different colors.
So you wouldn't do this in your.
I wouldn't do that in the drill, actually, yeah.
But we do have a drill color for it.
Because it's ed, yeah.
E, like feet, middle, level 2. Feet, middle, level 2. Yep, feet, middle, level 2. Per. Level 2, middle. What's the word? Per. What was the word? Per. A is one way to say it. The most common way to say it is E. So if a kid says A, you can't tell them no, they're wrong. You say that's correct, but right now we are learning that it makes an E sound. You have to trace it to know that. Middle, level 2, and our word is key.
Because all I could think of was anywhere.
Same here.
So is there going to be another where you cover the
Hey.
last call?
Yeah.
So you use the word
Yeah, 2 1. Alright, we gotta go through those last ones pretty quick. Girl. Although that one's kind of tricky. Girl. Middle, level 2.
What was the word for IR?
Girl. Knee, beginning, level 2. So knee, beginning, level 2. We have another suffix here, please. So you made probably a different color for this. The suffix ly, and level 2, slowly. So level 2, slowly, and the suffix. We're almost done. O, boat, middle, level 2. O, toe, middle, level 2. So the most common is see moon, so the oo, but also you have words like book and good. So it could be
Do you do both?
One at a time.
do one at a time. So
Introduce them one at a time.
you definitely want to introduce the moon first. Middle, level 2. Or, that's the most common, so like the word for, middle, level 2. You can also make the sound, but as far as I know, none of our kids, like words like color, like when it's on the end, the OR, so color, actor, so it makes the sound when it's on the end. But I don't think our working
Takes a while to get
yeah.
there.
Ow, like out, level 2, middle. But it also say ooh, like youth, toe, like no. 4. What sound is that? I'm struggling all of a sudden. Yeah. But I would stick with
But that would be like
the
forward.
out, like an out, middle, level 2. Ouch. Ow. Ow. Well, the most common is O, like snow.
Really?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Snow, blown, window, but O. Middle, level 2. But you're right, it can also make the ow sound. Like ship, beginning or end, level 1. So catch and forget, especially confusing enough. Letter F and the TH. That's something.
What if you have the word that?
So that we talk about voiced and unvoiced. You want to take that away, Barb?
that would be the voice TH sound. So that would be.
That's a second
there's two,
comment,
yeah,
is when
that's-
you go,
It's more
and you can-
commonly the unvoiced.
like that or the, and if you have them put it right here, they can feel when it's voiced or unvoiced. So when you say
Feel that vibration, it's
That.
voiced.
the,
Yeah.
that, yeah, it's more that.
What do we rate for that?
For which one? TH or UR?
Go for the G. Yeah.
Burn, middle, level 2. When, beginning level 1. Right. So beginning level 2. You guys don't have cards for that, like the ing, right.
Okay, like.
For the ing and ong and unk and that, because I don't know where mine are, so when I had someone make copies, but I don't think so.
These are the difference with
Alright, so what we want to have you guys do now is you have,
I'm sorry, did you say?
How come we have more power?
so when you put it in the middle, they really have to get this.
because it's you just review the angle sounds.
What do we do? How come we have like
It's in the
1, 2,
middle
3,
pile.
4, 5, 6?
Because you could choose what Rachel
Yes. Okay, some of you have SL and CL, I had to take them out of your class. Those are just bloods. So some of you have them.
And can I ask, would you spoke about one or two kindergartners that came in, is that just level 1 separate?
I don't, yeah, I would stick with level 1, and in the very beginning, you might not even, you might have maybe the letter A, maybe a couple of letters that they already know. So that's why it would be good to take them through level 1 and begin in kindergarten to see what they know.
All in one together and then try and test them.
Yeah, kindergarten. So what we want to have you guys do now is to actually practice. So if you can all find a partner, and you are going to practice with your partner like it's a real thing. So for the first 5, maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes, one of you is going to be the teacher, the other is going to be the student, and then we're going to switch. So